Hey, welcome back guys. In the last series of videos on this 81 300 SD, you saw me redo everything on the front end of the vehicle. Now we're moving to the back of the vehicle. Gonna do shocks, brakes, rotors, inspect everything back here and make sure it's good to go. So let's go ahead and get started on this vehicle. All right guys, it's time to blow out the garage. All right, guys. First thing I want to do is get these old rear calipers out of here and these old brake lines. Those are original, and I want to put some new ones on here. Let's go ahead and get these off. It's a 19 millimeter. And we'll also take them off the other side, and we'll get these rotors off here and put some new rotors on here. And there we go. That's a nasty old original rotor. So I want to put some, it actually doesn't have a lip on it, but I want to go ahead and change it so it looks a lot prettier. Let's get this caliper off of here, and we'll go pop it off the other side and then break these lines loose. All right, there we go, guys. I have the new rotors installed. I put on some brand new, these are ATE calipers. I got our new brake lines in the rear. And keep in mind, there's dirt up in here. I have not detailed this vehicle yet. Scott has not seen it. I just wiped some of it off so you guys can see the original paint is right there. So that's just a little dirty. But got that knocked out. I need to throw some pads in and remount the calipers. And you can see I got them over here too. And then we're going to lower the car down, and I'm going to remove the back seat, and we're going to drop these shocks out, and I want to put some new Bilstein shocks in there. And then I want to, while the seat's out, I want to remove and clean the fuel level sender, fuel sending unit. Make sure that's clean, reassemble that. And we are getting close to being done on this car. So let me go ahead and attach these calipers, lower the car down, and we'll start on that back seat. And guys, you always want to use blue Loctite. I've got blue Loctite on these bolts when you reinstall them. That's what Mercedes did. Alright guys, there we go. Let's get some fresh pads in here. I had some genuine Mercedes-Benz pads on the shelf, so I went ahead and put these guys in, which I think ATE probably even makes these. But let's go ahead and stick those in there. Let's see how similar they are to the ATE. Yeah, that's the same manufacturer. So anyway, I like the little Mercedes logo back there, so let's stick those in there. And then we'll go ahead and button these up with the supplied ATE hardware. The way these ATEs go in here, they have this little clip, and this pin goes through. And they have like that's like a piece of lead, so or it's at least a compressible metal. So you put that little clip thingy there. We need to pull this pad out a little bit. It slipped back up in there. Whoops. There we go. Then we'll stick this thing underneath here. And we push those across like that. And then you have to just tap them in, and that little compressible metal piece will squish together and it holds it in there. So let's go get our hammer. There we go. See how those go in? and then they stick out of the other side there. So let's go ahead and knock out the other side. There we go. New brake pads, new rotors, new calipers, new hoses. And let's go ahead and inspect. The boots back here are excellent condition. Not a single rip or tear. Yeah, those are good. So now let's go ahead and get these shocks out of here. All right, I'll try to record from here. To get this seat out, there's a little lever right there on the bottom. You pull up to detach this side. And then right down here, there's a little lever. And there we go. So keep in mind, I haven't detailed in here, vacuum, nothing. This is exactly how I found the car. So we definitely, you know, all this is going to get detailed for sure. But we can take this and fold it up like that. Wow, it's actually relatively clean underneath here. Normally you find a bunch of crayons and pennies and all kinds of stuff, but this is clean. Now along the back of the seat, there's a bolt here, here, and here. We need to unscrew those, and then we can lift this seat out. Here you go, guys. I'll show you what I'm doing here. You see right there. And behind here, we can access the shocks and the fuel sender. So we just lift it up. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, we can slide this forward. There we go. We'll lean that right there. All right, guys, once you have the seat out, I'm on the other side of the car now. You can fold down the sound insulation. And right here, this is to access the top of the shocks. You pop this cap off, and then this cap right here is to get access to the fuel sender. So let's go ahead and pop both of those off of there. Just gotta pry that thing off of there. All right, there we go. There's our 17mm nuts holding on the top of the shock, and we'll just set that in the floor. Then we'll pop this one off. This is our fuel sender, and you can see there's our fuel sender right there. So we'll remove that. I'll go ahead and unplug it, set that aside, and then we need our special tool to get that out. There's the special socket. This is a 1 13/16, and this fits around the top of the fuel sender. I'm gonna have to get in the way of the camera. All right, then we can screw this fuel sender out of here. And we're gonna go open it up and see if it's dirty on the inside and clean it. These low mileage cars usually really aren't that bad. This one only has 59,000 miles on it, so. All right. That's just a drain hole there. So we'll let that drain out, then we'll get it over in the workbench, check it out, clean it up, and then reinstall it. Because it's actually already working on the vehicle. So we'll just see if there's any gunk or crud in there. All right, guys, to get these off, you need a shaved down 17mm wrench, which goes along the base right there. There we go. Get this wrench on there like that and hold the bottom still. And we can break that one loose Whoops, not quite. There we go. We'll just put that nut in the floor. And then we have our ratcheting wrench. And we'll just go ahead and get that loose. There we go. Got that one off. And we'll take our cover plate off. And our bushing. Get this thing off of here. And then we just unbolt the shock from underneath. And it slides right out the bottom. We can put our new one in. There we go. And there we go. The shock is disconnected. Let's go do it on the other side. Then we'll lift the car and drop them out of the bottom. All right, now that we have the shocks out, we can raise the car back up. And we can get underneath here and detach. I think they're 15 or 16 millimeter bolts on each side, and we'll drop the shocks out. All right, I think you guys can see that. It's actually a 17 millimeter. We'll drop these out. Yep. Okay, all right, guys, we got our new Bilstein shock. We have our bushing on top, and we're just going to stick that right up through here. We got to get it right through the top up there. Got to get it right through the hole in the top. Sometimes it's tricky to get it in there. There it goes. Get this other side. Get it up through the hole on the top. There we go. All right, you can see we have our new shocks in there. And I had some gold colored grade 8 bolts that I put in there because they contrast really well with the black lower control arms, or the black trailing arms, and cleaned up the exhaust real nice, and it just looks fantastic under here. And the way Mercedes made these, I think that was like maybe a stainless back here, and then it was just regular up here. So these always have surface rust on them, but you can clean these up really, really nice. So there we go. There's our new Bilsteins, and it just looks fantastic back here. New brakes. So now I'm going to lower the car down. There's new fuel lines, new fuel filter in the tank. So now I'm going to lower the car down and go to the top of the shocks and reattach the nut up on the top. There we go. Before I lower it, just want to get a good shot. That looks so nice under here. Go up and look at the front. The front is just as nice. All of it is redone. Everything looks fantastic under here. All right, let's go ahead and get this car down and go attach the top of our shocks up top. All right, we have our fuel sending unit, and I can hear the bobber moving in there. So with only 59,000 miles, this thing is probably relatively clean. But we're going to get in here and take a look. All right, we'll take that piece off. Take that piece off. And then we're just going to slide this out and do an inspection. And just as I suspected, that is clean as can be. So we literally don't need to do anything here. That is super clean. We're going to go ahead and just put this back together, put it back in the car. Don't need to clean anything up there. Now we're just going to put our end piece back on. And our cover plate. Put our little nut back on the end. And we'll tighten it back down, put it back in the car. You always got to check that, guys, because these things, when they get clogged, your fuel gauge will stop working. All right. Yep, that one is perfect. All right, let's go put the top of the shocks back on and put our fuel sending unit back in the car. All right, before we lower the car down and attach the shocks, I'm just gravity bleeding the brake system. And I've already tightened this one back up. You see we got some fluid in there. And already did the other side over here. So now we're gonna lower it down and put the wheels on, because we want a little pressure up to push that shock up in there at the right ride height before we retighten, before we go inside and retighten the nut on the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheels on now. All right, guys, we've got the bunt wheels remounted, and these are old stock, original Mercedes bunts, never been used, and these were actually pulled from the trunks of vehicles. And you can see they've never been used, because you can see the gold like colored lining where the lug bolts would go. See that? They've never had a bolt in there. And the way you know they were from the trunks of cars, original, I still need to clean that spot off there, but that's where the little orange sticker was that designated these as spares. So those are old stock, never before used, brand new bunt wheels. And that's not a repaint. That's exactly how it left the factory at Mercedes. Also, I just had new tires mounted, and these are actually Uniroyal, and Uniroyal is made by Michelin. You can't get the Michelin Defenders anymore, and I use these on every car. It's the next best thing. So they're actually Michelin's rebranded here as Uniroyal, and they're the Tiger Paw. I use these on all my cars. They're outstanding tires. All right, I got all the these are a bunch of center caps I got from Mercedes. Let's see what our part number here. It's a 107 part number. There you go, 107 400 0025. But those are brand new center caps from the dealership. So guys, I'm trying to make this a new 1981 300 SD. So let's get this thing down on the ground now and put our shock tops back on and our fuel sending unit. All right, you can see our shock has come up through here, and I put our bushing back on there. Now we need to put our cover plate on there, and we can start screwing these nuts back down. We'll do that one. And this takes a minute, guys. You just want to do it till the bushing starts to squish a little. You don't need to go crazy tight. Okay. See, I got my shaved wrench down there. And we got our top nut on there. And now we're just going to lock them in place. And there we go. That will not come off. And now we want to put our cap back on there. Okay, you can get the fuel sender started by hand. Just put it right down in there. Move our plug out of the way. Okay, got that tightened back down. Now let's attach our power cable. There we go. And we're just going to go check our fuel level to make sure that's working correctly. All right, we just want to go in here and pop our key in, and our fuel level gauge, our fuel gauge should just pop immediately to the top. Bam, there we go. So that's working excellent. See how fast it is? Bam. All right. So now let's put back in the back seat. Whoops, before we put the back seat in, we need to put our cap back over the fuel sender. There we go. And then this liner, this is the sound insulation. It folds back. Get our seatbelt out of the way here. There we go. It folds back, and you see there's a little slit right there. And that little slit goes right over. Right like that. And that holds it up there in place. All right, we're going to go ahead and put the seat back in. And you can see right here, there's a couple of little like bevels that stick out. And those clip over this piece, that piece, and that piece. So you got to get the back above those, push it in, and then slip it down over them. You can see how this beveled piece slips over this little clip right here. It's a little tricky, but a little finagling always gets it in there. And guys, this is a real leather interior. Just wait till you guys see this car after it comes back from the detail shop. This is, I mean, it's incredible condition. They're really amazing when they live in garages their whole lives. All right, so we got to get the seat belts. First, we got to get those around. There we go, like that. There we go. All right. Then you got to push the back in there. Lift up and press in. Almost. There we go. Boom. All right, now I'm going to vacuum a little here under the seat before I install the seat bottom and make sure it's super clean before we put it back together. Hey boys! You like that? Alright, get back. Alright, the seat bottom is really easy to get back in there. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. But you can see there's a metal stud right here. There's also one over there. And on the bottom of the seat you have this tab and a hole there, and the studs just go into the hole, and then the tab, this clip clips around them. That holds it in there. So we'll put this in there, and we'll hold our seat belts up out of the way. All right, then we'll slide that back. There we go. Just got to get that stud lined up. There we go. Got it on that side. There we go. Got it on that side. There we go. All right, right, guys, we got everything reassembled. So that concludes this video. We did everything on the rear of the car, shocks, fuel sending unit, and got all that taken care of. So the next video, I'm going to be addressing the AC system, the air conditioner, the blower, stuff like that. Make sure all that's working correctly. And before we go, I just wanted to show you this engine compartment one more time. Look how beautiful that is. Guys, I spent a lot of time making this look brand new again. All that's been sent off and been cadmium plated in California. Looks absolutely beautiful. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and we will see you next time for this 1981 Mercedes 300 SD. Take care.